The next team on the list is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The 2024 season, they were 4-13, third in the AFC South. Offensive DVOA, they finished 31st in the NFL. Defensive DVOA, they finished 30th in the NFL. Points for 18.8 points per game. That was 26th. Points against 25.4. That was 25th. Yards per game, they were 25th. Yards allowed per game, they were 31st. And obviously, they did not qualify for the playoffs. The only thing that I feel like is the issue here is the inconsistency. And I'm not talking about from a play perspective, because I feel like when this guy's right, it hums and he has things and he has it figured out. And he's clearly a guy. He can clearly play football, can clearly play the quarterback position. I think that the promise of who he could have potentially been at the number one pick has been under-delivered at this point, but Trevor Lawrence needs to figure out a way to stay healthy. A lot of it is weird, fluky injuries. Like, it's not like he's like tearing his ACL or like anything like that. Like, he got cracked last season on a concussion. Like, it's always little nagging injuries that cause him to miss some time. The Jacksonville Jaguars have been able to kind of 2 years ago, they started off really hot, going 8-1. And then this season, this past season, it was just a season from hell for them. They just didn't look too good. Doug Pederson looked like he was too busy scheduling tee times than worrying about coaching a football team. And ultimately, they moved on from him. I think the bright spot of this team, obviously, is Brian Thomas Jr. He absolutely balled out for them this past season. So big standout performance for them, obviously, was Brian Thomas Jr. He obviously really balled out for them last season. I'm going to look at his stats here real quick. He had 87 receptions for 1,200 plus yards, almost 1,300 yards, and 10 plus touchdowns. Super impressive. I feel like he obviously played with like Mac Jones for part of the season. And he really came to his own. So I think going into year two, I feel like that's going to be a guy who people are extremely excited about in fantasy and Jacksonville Jaguars land, everything. They're going to be really excited about him. Do you have anything that you want to say about obviously the Trevor Lawrence health and how they moved on from Doug Pederson this past season?
Yeah, the Trevor Lawrence health thing has been really unfortunate because it kind of feels like he can never just put together he's had one solid full season, maybe two full seasons since he's came to the NFL in 2021. But really only one season that was like worth turning your head at. And that was in 2022. And it just hasn't felt like he's been able to get back to the level that he was playing at back then. And that's mainly because of injuries. He had an unfortunate situation at head coach the last few years, which I don't think that really helps either. I don't think Doug Pederson can coach a team outside of Philadelphia. And we've talked about this a handful of times. You've rattled off his record when he's not coaching the Eagles, and it's not great.
No, season. He had one successful season as a head coach, and it was that Super Bowl run. That was it.
Yeah, it's been bad outside of being in Philadelphia. So that was a swing and miss. The Urban Meyer head coach was a swing and miss. And Trevor Lawrence, the combination of him not staying healthy and having unfortunate head coaches has just not been a great match since he came to the league, right? You said it earlier. He's not lived up to the hype of the number one pick. He was somebody that people pegged him as the number one pick coming out of high school. Sorry, nobody actually did that, but people were calling him the number one pick before he even stepped foot at Clemson. So the hype has just been through the roof for this guy since he was 18, and he just hasn't lived up to it quite yet. But with that being said, I think they brought in a guy in Liam Cohen who I think is going to help turn this all around as long as Trevor Lawrence can stay healthy.
Yeah, I'm just looking here real quick. His Doug Pederson's record as a head coach is 64-66. The only double-digit win total he had his entire coaching tenure was a 2017 Super Bowl team. So
Yeah.
other than that, he was going off fumes and a prayer. So definitely interesting. And yeah, going into the 2025 offseason, you mentioned already, you get Liam Cohen, who has just been going up and up and up and up pretty much every single seasons over the last like 5 years, from like Kentucky to the Rams to the Bucks, and now a head coach with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The interesting thing is that Liam Cohen wasn't even going to take this job until they fired Trent Baalke, which, like, thank God that they did. Trent Baalke has survived multiple head coaching firings from the Urban Meyer, before Urban Meyer, and then he was about to survive the Doug Pederson firing until Liam Cohen pretty much put his foot down and was like, I do not want this guy as the general manager. So then you go and you get James Gladstone, kind of like the whiz kid from the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, I think that that's probably a step in the right direction. I like the idea of both of these guys. We obviously need to watch it play out, but Liam Cohen has kind of had the stamp of the quarterback revival guy. Can he do it one more time? I hope so, because I'm a big Trevor Lawrence fan and want to see him play well.
Yeah, we saw the amount of success that Baker Mayfield had with Liam Cohen as the OC down in Tampa Bay. If you can even get 3/4 of that out of Trevor Lawrence, I think you have to take that as a step in the right direction, because, I mean, you saw how Trevor Lawrence played back in 2022, and it was a good season, but he hasn't been able to get back to that point. So getting a guy like Liam Cohen in the building, revamping the front office was a necessary step that the Jaguars had to do this offseason. And I like the moves. I like their additions. And I like the way that the Jacksonville Jaguars are shaping up for 2025.
Definitely. Let's get into the 2025 offseason. They obviously lose Evan Ingram. They traded Christian Kirk. They lose Gabe Davis, Devin White. Is there anybody else that I am missing on who they lost from their team this offseason?
So Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Andre Sisco, Luke Farrell, Mac Jones, Josh Reynolds, Ronald Darby, Tim Jones, Devin Duvernay. That's about it.
So let's get into the roster additions, and I just want to talk about this team real quick. Who did they add from a roster addition standpoint? It's looking like they have a lot of the same people.
So they added right guard Patrick Mercari. They added wide receiver De'Ami Brown, corner Jordan Lewis, center Robert Hainsley, safety Eric Murray, left tackle Chuma Adoga, edge Emmanuel Ogba, and tight end Johnny Munt.
Oh shoot, Darnell Savage isn't starting for them anymore. That's interesting. Yeah. Dog. So I wanted to talk about this depth chart because a lot of people kind of pin this defense as being really bad. And I do think that the secondary is a weaker unit, but you're not going to have a strong team all over, like from the linebacker perspective, Devin Lloyd and Aluakon, I like both of those players. I think they're both good players. And then Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen are legitimately two guys that can rush the passer, that can go and grab double-digit sacks in a season, just the two of them.
Yeah.
So I think that that's interesting as well. Trayvon Walker has just been getting better every single season. Last year, he finished with 10.5 sacks. I believe 2 years ago, Josh Hines-Allen finished with 17.5 sacks. Yeah, 17.5 sacks 2 years ago. He finished with 8 last season. So you're telling me that you have two guys that can like actually go out and get after the passer. I like that. And then you obviously add Travis Hunter. I don't hate this roster as much as people make it out to be. I think that their offensive line obviously is a little weak, but other than that, like I don't hate this team in the way it's built, and the overreaction from. I know that you listen to Bill Simmons, so you will obviously get this reference, but the overstatement of how bad this team is, that Trevor Lawrence isn't any good at football, blah blah blah. I'm just not really buying into that in any way, shape, or form. And where the Titans, people could potentially be looking at them to take that next step. It's just hard to think that way when you have a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars, which we've seen 3 years ago when they won a playoff game. When they were down to the Chargers, they go and they win a playoff game. Then 2 seasons ago, they start the season 8-1. Trevor Lawrence gets banged up, and then they kind of free fall from there. And then obviously the year from hell, but last year. But this team, I'm not writing them off in any way, shape, or form. I feel like at this point they're almost like a little slept on.
Yeah, I think that the Trevor Lawrence has gotten a little too far. Saying he's not good at football. Yeah, I think it's not. I don't think it's fair. You can criticize him for being injured and getting banged up. I think that's reasonable. But saying he's not good at football, saying he sucks, I think is a little unwarranted. I think he can still go out there and lead a team to the playoffs if he's healthy for an entire season. I like this roster a little bit more than people have been saying as well. Realistically, what I think it comes down to for them is, can Trevor Lawrence stay healthy? Can you get a full season out of him? Because I think when he's healthy, he is more than capable of leading a team to the playoffs. So I think the hate's gone too far. I'm not standing for it. I'm not selling any of my Trevor Lawrence stock. And I want to see how he looks under Liam Cohen in this offense this upcoming season. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they have two guys that, like you said, can just rush the passer and get after it. That will make up for having a little bit weaker of a secondary if you're able to generate pressure, make the quarterback have to get rid of the football quick, make quick decisions. That leads to turnovers. And if you have two guys that are rushing at a high level like that, you can almost mask having a weaker secondary. So we'll see how bad the secondary is, but I'd be willing to bet if
like I'm not tripping. Tyson Campbell's not terrible, and then you add Travis Hunter. Like that's not a terrible second. Like those aren't terrible corners.
No, but how many snaps on defense are you getting out of Travis Hunter?
I think he plays the whole game.
You do?
Yeah,
I thought they said that there was gonna. I don't know. I thought I saw that there was gonna be like a snap count for him defensively since he was starting fully on offense. I could very well be wrong. I could have missed something.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? I feel like at some point you traded the house for him. Like I feel like he's going to be playing a significant amount of time on both sides of the football. I think.
Yeah, he should. He should. He's one of their best. He'll probably be one of their best players.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into their win total. The win total sitting at 7.5. What are you thinking about that right now? And then for the division, they are sitting at plus 260, sitting second, just behind the Houston Texans.
I have them going over. I have them winning 10 games, actually.
Nice.
And win. I think they're going to come out of the AFC South. I think Liam Cohen is going to have Trevor Lawrence looking right. And I think they win this division. 10 wins over.
Yeah, I'm definitely going over on that too. I think double-digit wins sounds good to me. I wanted to get crazy again and do something, but the Houston Texans just have so many question marks, it feels like, on both, maybe not the defense as much, but on all over the offense. Their offensive line's not very good. Their running back room's not very good. I just think that that's obviously something to note like the Houston Texans aren't a perfect football team. So for everybody to just be like, well, the Houston Texans, they're going to win the division. Like if everybody's picking Buffalo Bills to win the division, Ravens to win the division, Houston Texans to win the division, Chiefs to win the division, there is a 0% chance that that's what happens this year. That they're just all the AFC is just like a clean sweep again across the board, and these teams are like as good as people. Definitely not, and that's where I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars are clear bump candidate. And why can't they win a tight division race over a team that I just don't think is that much significantly better than them? So why is it just a shoe-in for the Houston Texans to win this division? So I'm right with you. I'm going to go Jacksonville Jaguars to win this division as well and go over on their win total.
Yeah, I just don't think the gap is as big as people are making it seem. I think just the fact that Houston's had some success recently, and I get it. It's what have you done for me lately? But I think that the Houston success, people have almost just begun to be like, okay, yeah, they're by far the best team in this division. They're going to just get penciled in when until further notice. When realistically, the most success that they've had is a first round loss. So I don't understand why everyone's so automatic on Houston being the winner of this division until for however many years. It just doesn't feel. It feels weird to me. I think this division could realistically be open in a couple years, depending on how people feel about Cam Ward. I think we could see those three teams sort of rotate around. But I don't think that Houston's a shoe-in to win this division at all.
No, the Jacksonville Jaguars are our bump team for the AFC South.